All right, so Dennis Lin, he put out a mailbag. I think it was earlier today. At least that's when I saw it earlier this morning, and it was about Shohei Ohtani. Some of it was about Shohei Ohtani, and the first report that we heard about Shohei Ohtani and the Padres being all in on him was obviously from Bob Nightingale, and my thought on that was, well, I don't really want to totally believe this because it's Bob Nightingale. The tidbit that he put about Ohtani, it was all the way down in his article, like, all the way down. This article was like an essay, one of those school essays for college that's like a million words. It was all the way down in this article, buried in the article. So, I think that should have been the lead to an article, like, if this was actually true. But Dennis Lin said today in The Athletic that the Padres will definitely be in on Ohtani. I'm reading from The Athletic here. When Ohtani first came over from Japan, Preller memorized several minutes of Japanese and then recited those lines during the Padres meeting with the then free agent. It sounded like Preller pulled multiple all-nighters overseeing the creation of a pitch book designed to woo Ohtani. The Padres have since tried to trade for Ohtani on a number of occasions, including last summer before they acquired Soto. Preller probably has never wanted a player more than he wanted and maybe still wants Ohtani. So, yeah, that tells me the Padres, well, because Lynn said it too, they're definitely going to be in on Ohtani, but I kind of hold the opinion. I just I don't see them being all in on Ohtani. The only way I see that them being all in on Ohtani and, like, actually maybe getting him, maybe he comes to the Padres and takes less money, but I'm saying, like, being all in on Ohtani, and it's because, like, they're offering the most money. Only way I see that happening is if they don't bring Manny back, because then that opens up, $300 million, and they can really go after Shohei. 300 plus $1 million it would probably open up. That's how I see it happening. So I just don't see it happening. I see the Padres bringing back Manny Machado. Now, are the Padres going to, meet with Shohei in free agency and, give him their best pitch? Yeah, I definitely expect them to do that based on what I'm reading here from Dennis Lin and about Preller memorizing several minutes of Japanese and reciting it during the meeting and pulling all nighters, trying to design pitch books, with Otani, to woo him for these meetings before he signed with the Angels, obviously. Yeah, like Preller's interested, and this is a guy that he's probably wanted the most. And that's what Dennis Lin says here. He's never wanted a player probably more than he wanted Otani, and maybe still wants Otani. And with Preller, I probably made this point before. Like, whenever he has really wanted a player, it might take a year, it might take 3 years, it might take 5, it might take 7. Juan Soto, right? He always wanted Juan Soto. That's what it seemed like, right? Maybe not, he wasn't at the top of the list, and he admitted that during that press conference last year after they acquired him. Like, he should have been at the top instead of, I think it was Yohan Moncada at the time. But he ultimately ended up getting, excuse me, ultimately ended up getting Juan Soto. He ultimately ended up getting Josh Hader. Like, Hader has said, I think he said it last year during the postseason before one of the postseason series started at Petco, saying that, yeah, Preller, like, always wanted him. Like, he knew that. So Preller usually gets his guy eventually. And it seems like he really, really wants Shohei. And so you'd think, well, okay, well, he really, really wants him, so he's going to get him. But the Padres are in a situation where I don't think that they are going to be forced to go get Shohei. Like, I don't think that they're going to feel that we need Shohei Ohtani. I don't think we need Shohei Ohtani. I think if you build a quality pitching staff in the future after this season, and you bring back Darvish and you have Musgrove, and a couple of these younger guys can develop, and you bring in some other free agent starters, I think you bring back Manny, obviously, Soto long term, and you have Bogarts, Tatis, Cronenworth. Like, that is a solid core of offensive players, right? That is a solid core of position players. So I don't think that they need Ohtani. Like, other teams probably will be in the group of, no, we need Ohtani. We need this amazing, amazing talent. Of course, the Padres want it, and it seems like Preller dreams about Shohei Ohtani, right? He really, really wants Shohei Ohtani, but he's in a situation where he's built a really good team already, and you're just looking to sustain that if you're AJ Preller, I think. Um, Anything else here? I'm just reading this Dennis Lin article. Uh, Dennis says, I think Dennis Lin says, I think it might be too early to say whether the Padres will be all in, though, on Ohtani. Ohtani will be 29. He could land the sport's first $500 million contract. The Padres intend to keep Manny beyond next season, which that's not news. We knew that already. For as much of a unicorn as Ohtani is, spending roughly $125 million in payroll on four players, Ohtani, Manny, Soto, and Bogarts, does not seem like a good idea. Machado, Bogarts, and Ohtani will all be in their all be in their 30s or late 20s, including Tatis. They would be devoting closer to 150 mil of their luxury tax payroll to five players, none of them pitchers, right? And then you add Musgrove on there, and that even adds that up more, right? The Padres might need to replace much of their rotation via free agency next offseason, and everyone wonders how much longer Ohtani can continue his current production as both a hitter and a pitcher. And that's one of the reasons, right? I posed that question. I think it was last week. Would you rather have Ohtani or would you rather have Juan Soto, like long term? And I part of the reason I picked Soto, part of it was the age, but also like we know what we're going to get out of Juan Soto. Like he's a position player. He can play in the field every day, right? And I think he's going to continue to improve his defensive skills. Like he's not the best defender, but I expect him to improve. With Ohtani, he might stop pitching in 5 years, halfway through this large $500 million contract, $400+ million contract. And then now you're paying this guy the back half of this contract to only be a DH. You're paying him like $40-50 million a year, maybe. Is that smart? No, I'd rather pay Juan Soto to watch him play for the Padres long term. And he's obviously younger. And then Dennis Lin says the one scenario I could see the Padres trying to outbid teams like the Dodgers and the Mets if Machado opts out and does not agree to a new deal to stay in San Diego. Either way, you should expect the Padres to make an effort on Ohtani. So, yeah, that's the latest report from Dennis Lin. The Padres, they're going to be in on Ohtani. I just don't know to what degree they're going to be in on Ohtani, right? We don't know that. We're not going to know that until this Manny thing is probably resolved, right? If they bring back Manny, then I don't think that they'll be involved with Ohtani as much as they would have if Manny hits free agency and ends up going elsewhere. But give your thoughts on this in the comments.